Hi everybody and welcome to Riggs Garage. We do have some momentum on the 1970 Mustang Fastback project. Again, this is a budget build and I'm thinking I have about $1,500 in that engine right now. I am going to do a separate video on the engine budget and cover all that with you. I think some of you guys really liked the budget video I did for my 63 Chevy big block swap. So check out that video. I'll post a card up above for that. I am active on Instagram now. Check me out at Riggs Garage. In this video, we're going to check out the to-do list for the car. We're going to check out parts and boxes. We're going to do a full transmission service, and we are going to sort out the front accessory drive on the engine. That's belts, pulleys, brackets, all the random bolts and things that you think you have, but you really don't. And I make a ton of hardware store trips and O'Reilly auto parts store trips, but that's beside the point. That's part of putting this puzzle together. Hopefully you guys like this video. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Here's the to-do list. We need to put engine mounts on. We need an alternator bracket mounted. We need to sort out the power steering. I might have to go to the hardware store and find some bolts for that, or they might be in my random bolts box. I need to get the distributor stabbed. I need to clean the carburetor off, service the transmission. Hopefully that's tonight. Install the flywheel and the transmission as one unit with the engine, and then drop the engine in. Alright, then I'm going to plumb the power steering, take care of all the vacuum hoses, get the carb on, fuel lines to that guy. I've got the radiator to install and radiator hoses, the fuel tank, and the sending unit. And I'm going to put the fuel pump on the side of the motor, probably after it's in, so I don't bash it like I did the one that came out. On this side of the worksheet we have brakes. I need to pull all the wheels and check all the shoes now that I have a key to the wheels. I've got new wheel cylinders for all four corners, maybe shoes. I have all new rubber hoses. I have a new master cylinder, so I need to bleed that master cylinder. I need to get a battery. I think I have one to trade for some ammo. We need fuel, and then we'll have fire. Let's get to work. So all these parts were in my front entry, and it was strongly suggested by somebody that I live with that I remove them from the front entry. So I'll show you the parts here. All right, we have a new gas tank, and this gas tank has a drain plug, which is cool. I have a set of MSD wires that I got from a friend for free. He had replaced them, but they're pretty much brand new. Here's a fuel tank kit. So we've got the filler gasket, filler neck, OEM style clamps. We have a new sending unit for the fuel tank and all the bolts for that. And over here I have trunk lock kit with keys and gasket for the trunk lock. Alright, fuel filter. I have a new Carter fuel pump here. I do have a bunch of transmission fluid we're about to use. Over here to the brakes. New master cylinder right here. Rear brake line, and then the two front soft lines. I've got drum brake hardware kits because there's always broken random parts in those. And then I have 4 wheel cylinders. Here are new radiator hoses. And here is the filter and gasket kit for the C4 automatic transmission. And then finally I have a transmission mount and motor mounts. I did go ahead and clean up a couple of these things down here that I can't reach. Basically just scuffed them and shot them with a semi-flat. And I pressure washed the engine bay. Not much to it really. Here's the mean eyes. This fender is pretty heavily patinaed. Here's what we have to work with. We've even got mouse turds all over the top here. So this is a greasy C4 transmission. Of course, we got shift linkage here, kick down, more shift linkage. Oh crap. Well, there's the alternator bracket that I was looking for and I've already replaced. Here are 4 bolts. I assume those are for the motor mounts. Here's the trashed motor mount. Yeah. Part of the transmission mount, that'll be replaced. When this is flipped over, remind me to put There's your transmission mount on. Dipstick here. This guy's pressed in, so I think he just pulls right out. I'll try not to pull him out now so I don't get junk in that hole. Here's a broken off transmission line fitting. I guess I'll fix that. Here's another transmission cooling line. All right. We'll get the oil pan off and see what it's looking like inside. Transmissions that have sat for a long time, or engines that have sat a long time, even indoors, can have a lot of condensation in them. So we have temperature change, season change, and if there's any air in there, the water in there with the temperature change can build up and get water inside of that. I just had that happen with a moped that I had. It was stored indoors for years, but I was like, cool, it's stored indoors. So I grabbed it, but the piston and cylinder were rusted together. So you have to be careful about that. The Mustang was in a garage, but when I even looked at it, the floors were all sweaty because of a drastic change in January. When it went from cold to warm, like in a day, the whole floor was like completely wet. So this car has seen moisture, and the transmission, we don't know what's in there. Let's find out. Crack it loose, and about to find out what's in here. A couple of tiny metallic specks. There's just a basic, just colored sludge here. It might be from wearing bands over time. And then there's a couple of pieces of junk that fell in there because the whole transmission's filthy. So this will obviously be getting cleaned out nicely. But from what I can see, there's nothing super concerning in here. I was expecting more water or other things like that. So here's the transmission filter. The screen here just has some basic small particles on it. Nothing concerning. Everything's wet with oil. It's not rusty or nasty. We have this old cork gasket that has lived a good life, but it's time to replace him. If we're lucky, it'll come right off, so I'm going to be really careful with that. Maybe get a razor blade under the edge here and get around. Make sure I drop plenty of detritus down in the valve body here. Got it in one piece. Yippee! Probably shouldn't forget this spring. Honestly, this filter looks really clean, which is encouraging. Now there's a spring over here, so I'm going to put the bolt in there first to kind of suppress that springiness. Make sure you knock a bunch of trash in there for that new filter to earn its keep. Just like my old oil pan, you can tell that this, see how it's all flat here? It's got a hump to it right there. So I'm gonna lay this down with a body hammer. Pretty much every hole has it. See the hump and rise right here, and then right here, the hole. And then it's flat. See? Perfect. Let's do it to this one now. Yeah, look at that science. A little bit more. Oh yeah. I'm not going to use any sealer on this. No, I'm not. I am going to put it on the correct direction. Let's get this broken old transmission mount off of here. I can't resist cleaning this, so I'm going to make sure I plug up the dipstick hole there really well. And at least clean it somewhat. I mean, plugging this greasy, disgusting thing behind that beautiful fresh engine, even though this is a budget build, that's sloppy. I think it looks a lot better now. Definitely not super clean, but it's much cleaner. I'll have to adjust those once it gets in the car. Just painted the dipstick tube black because it was like a greasy lime green. And then I took the reverse lights wiring harness and I went ahead and re-wrapped it with a quality electrical tape. Let me know in the comments below if you think this transmission is actually going to work. I think it will, but you never know. If it doesn't, tragically I will have to buy a 5-speed T5 and do the manual swap that I've been wanting to do anyway. So we'll see what happens. Now we'll go to the front of the engine for the accessory setup. Gonna run the tap down in these holes, the power steering side and the alternator side. Put this Amazon.com alternator bracket on. Had enough thread in these two bolts, so that's good. And yes, this is definitely a 3-foot piece of all thread I'm hanging this alternator in here with. Now I'll fit this bottom bracket. Let's see which way it goes. Appears to go inward there. Excellent. And Ace hardware closed at 6, so I'm using random things out of my parts bin at this point, which is fine. If the car runs, it is running. You know what I mean. Now I can throw a belt on it and then measure this space here and make a spacer. Probably out of a random piece of pipe that I have somewhere in this garage. The bolts that I have with the fan that came with the car are a finer thread than the ones on this new water pump. So let's see if I can find some really good spacers here. Found these spacers. This is just for mock-up. I need this pulley sitting still so I can get a belt over it. This junky one came with the car. And the That's not a fit either. Okay, so I need to buy an alternator belt. I'll add that to the list. That's a little hot on the welding flip-flops. We're just gonna hang it on there with one nut. I'll put this side on. Oh man, that's gonna be rough on the threads. All right, that's really close. I'm gonna chuck that in and just ream that hole out just a tiny bit. Woo. Here's what we're looking at. Got this gap here to close. And we have adjustability here, so we need to line up the belts really well. Looks like it's gonna be perfect with that second groove. Line them up really well, make sure the belt fits, and we can tension this thing this way. And then I'll make a spacer here. That spacer might actually just be like a nut and a washer. So I did buy extra nuts and washers just for this so we can get it perfect. Well, neither of the belts I have fit, so we're gonna have to measure for new ones. I know you want to talk in just a second. What I'm gonna do for the measurements is I'm gonna put these all at half adjustment right here. You can see the alternator's right there at half adjusted as well. Now we'll take measurements. We're gonna be extra festive. I have Christmas ribbon that somebody put on the floor in the garage. What I'm doing is making sure I'm on the right track here. I want to shove everything in the grooves. Make sure we're good. This is the most scientific way. There we have it. All right, so we're tight. Here's the power steering belt. Cool, that's a hit. Now that I have belts that fit, all I need to do is measure spacers here, make sure we're lined up, and then I'm going to go ahead and degrease the power steering pump, pulley, bracket, and cut this all thread, put everything back together permanently, and we should have a nice accessory belt drive. I think I'm going to call it a night.